Good day, good afternoon, Inspire and Empower Society. Welcome to this beautiful, glorious Sunday. Today's topic is on cryptocurrency. And we are just doing some enlightenment again. I don't know if many of you or any of you have caught the last video that my husband and myself did where we were just kind of shedding some light and giving some information, basic information on cryptocurrency. This is part 2 of that. And I'm going to explain to you a little bit why we decided to circle back around on this is because just like I post every day information that inspires, empower, and try to motivate individuals to reach their full potential, to break those shackles off their brain of fear, self-sabotaging thoughts, and et cetera, et cetera. The same thing we're trying to do economically, because it doesn't benefit us. Well, it does, because I do get a blissful feeling when I see my people educated economically in all different realms of life and reaching their full potential. So I do get benefit from it, but financial gain, no, this is more financial gain for you. So I decided to circle back around to kind of do some brief education so you guys could be aware of what cryptocurrency is and to break that fear of getting into it, because it's a digital revolution going on right now and I don't want people to miss out on it. And again, I'm spreading the love because I care about people, just like I spread the love every day on my daily discussions, just helping you guys get motivated, inspired, and empowered. I want to empower people economically. And with this digital revolution, this is a golden opportunity for people to change the trajectory of their financial situation. And we're speaking from experience because it's changing our life financially. So I'm going to pass, again, this is my husband's expertise. This is why I bring him on this platform when we're talking about innovative technology, because I don't know the deep depths of it. I research a lot of stuff, as you know, and I do read a lot, but this is just one that I can't get with, and I can't be the jack of all trades. I wear many hats, but cryptocurrency isn't one of them. And I think because I have a husband who knows a lot about it, it's like one less thing that I have to learn because he knows it. So I just kind of listen and learn from him and, do my own little investing. But he's more educated in this field than I am. So again, like I always thank my husband almost every video. Thank you, husband, for being educated on cryptocurrency, because I feel like without you, I would only be like many other, I want to say Americans or people in general, like the majority of people, I would only be investing in 401k. I probably never would have invested further into like other assets. I would have just had my 401k like many others. So thank you for understanding and pushing yourself to educate yourself to learn more about this digital revolution to kind of change the trajectory of our life. So I appreciate you for that. Like I said, and if not, I would have been like many other people, scared, not knowing where to start, having all these questions, doubt, fear, knowing that it's a thing, but not knowing where to get in at. But because of you, I was able to, to diversify my portfolio, so to speak, and not be afraid of it, have more understanding because you explained it to me. So I'm going to share my husband with you guys, and hopefully he can help, break some of that fear for people so that you guys don't miss this train, because the train is moving. I know you guys all heard about cryptocurrency by now. Everybody's in on it, our president, banks, investment companies, and he's going to, again, shed his light on it and try to, help break that barrier or cut that chain that's on your brain that says don't invest, which you should invest, right? And again, he's given opportunity to people to help them create portfolios, because a lot of people don't know how to create a portfolio. And I'm not talking about Coinbase, I'm not talking about Robinhood, because those are easy to create. And those platforms do not hold some of the assets that is in cryptocurrency. They hold the main ones, the big ones, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and those are already far gone. But there's other ones that's coming behind them that is worthwhile investing in. And access how we know, because my husband invested and it helped our portfolio. So without further ado, I'm going to let my husband talk. I'll introduce him again for many of you who don't know him. His name is Drew Will. little bit of his background. He has a bachelor's, not in finance, but he has a bachelor's in counseling and substance abuse with addictive behaviors. He is an entrepreneur. He has several small LLCs. Now he's diving into the world of cryptocurrency, and that's been like his main focus for the last going on 5 years. So since like the end of 2020, early 2021. So going on kind of like 5 years. But he breathes, eat, and sleep crypto. Okay. So he's very educated on it. And I wouldn't be promoting him or discussing him as such if I didn't feel confident that he knows what he's doing, because I wouldn't want to steer anybody wrong. So if you guys want to know about crypto or have questions, this is your guy. I'm giving him to you on a platter. Like, here he is. So anyway, his name is Jalil again. Most people call him Jay, but Jalil, and he's going to talk a little bit about cryptocurrency and this new digital revolution that's going on, and some changes that have been happening since our last talk. And that was what, in April, about a month ago, that we was on. So even within that month, things have changed. And if you would have invested back that month ago, you would have saw your portfolio grow, because we've seen ours grow. Now, granted, we're not millionaires yet, but it's worth investing. And I encourage you guys, just like I encourage you to do other things, like to expand your mind, to critically think, to empower you and inspire you. I encourage you to invest. If you don't want to invest going his way with his, helping you open up a wallet, I encourage you to get with somebody that you trust, a broker, your banker, because they're doing cryptocurrency. Wells Fargo, go to somebody that you trust and invest. Even if it's $50, get in the game. Do not miss this train, okay? And I'm only telling you this because I care. If I didn't care, I wouldn't be here, literally. Okay, maybe I care too much, but no, I want to see our people win. I want to see people win in general, and this is an opportunity. Okay, I'm gonna let my husband talk. All right. Without further ado, Jalil, whoever you want to start with educating.
Yeah. So, I could piggyback off of the last video. When I was talking to one of the members and we was discussing, Fidelity and BlackRock. Those are $1 trillion firms that hold a lot of assets. So now, with everything starting to scale, even with Bitcoin moving past 100K again, it's the process that I was speaking about with Fidelity is basically has unfold more information for me being, real analytical about, crypto. So just in comparison with what's going on, it's like is a company that always been in existence behind the scene, and it's called the Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation. Now, this company, they actually process nearly $4 quadrillion yearly, and they just filed a patent that is going to control as far as the system, methods, and storage media for managing digital liquidity for tokens and distributed ledger platforms. And this is crypto in layman terms. But for the patent, they're putting it out there so as though they're the only ones that's going to be working with, these utility tokens that, even all the banks are going to have. All the banks are poised to do stable coins. And, this is something that is very relevant to people that just don't know about what's going on behind the scenes. Because, just like JP Morgan, like the CEO, like we was talking before, he downplayed the whole crypto market. And now, even with BlackRock, they was doing the same thing. And now it's like, BlackRock holds more Bitcoin than Binance. And Binance is a crypto exchange inside the crypto marketplace. And it's very, it's maybe like the 5th cryptocurrency on the top 5, and Bitcoin being the number 1. So, with this digital revolution, it's like, it's the 5th industrial revolution that's going on. And, a lot of people are still sitting behind and, being feared about investing and holding just like people held Bitcoin when they bought it at $100, $1,000, they're doing quite well. Well, that opportunity still exists inside the crypto market, and we are still didn't even enter into the bull market of the altcoin, which is the alt season. And a lot of people that in crypto, they know about the alt season, they know about the bull run, and we are still in it. It's just the thing that's going on is like, the Trump family, just Trump himself, he running around with these tariffs and they actually shaking up the market. Even on June 1st, is going to be another tariff that he's pushing on EU that's going to shake the market again.
I don't like to intervene. I don't want to cut your wisdom and your knowledge here, but you said something important to me as an investor. And I think other investors should take an opportunity, use this as an opportunity to make money. On June 1st, he's going to start something else with a tariff, and that's going to shake the market, which causes the market to go down. Now, as investors, we don't get shook if the market go up or down. The market, something's going to happen, the market's going to go down. So we would actually go into selling, not buying. We would buy crypto. This is for day traders. Let me back that up so I can make it make sense. Day traders. Like if you're doing day trading, this would be the time you would go in sells, not buys. But on the investment aspect of it or part of it, this is where you will want to buy some more assets, whatever you're invested in. When it goes down, you don't get afraid. Again, you buy when the market is down. So it's two ways to profit off of it. As day traders, you go in as a sell. You don't go in as a buy because the things aren't going up, they're going down. So you want to go in as a sell. So I got to remind myself, maybe I'll jump in on some day trading and see how well I do. So next video, I can tell you, so remember this, and I'm gonna try to figure out how to do screens, like sharing the screen, so we can actually share dates and portfolios, because I really wanted to share the asset that he mentioned back last month. Athena. I don't know if you guys remember. You mentioned that last month, Athena. Mm-hmm. So he mentioned Athena last month. Asked me what Athena is. I ain't gonna lie.
They backed by Fidelity.
I know who they're back. I know
Franklin Hamilton. Those are big financial firms.
I don't know really what it is. Like I said, that's his thing. But he invested in Athena, and Athena did well. What did it, 4 or 5 times what you invested?
And now it's just a little double.
But I'm talking about when it skyrocketed. It went 4 times, right? Or 3.
You're speaking of
Mansory. But I thought Athena did the same thing.
Now, Athena is it was at 22 cents and it went to a little over 40 cents. So
okay, so it doubled.
Just double, yeah.
All right, so I'm sorry because he's investing in other things. I'm confusing, like you said, Athena assets. So, but Athena it doubled in 1 month. So that is still progress. And he is, like I said, he's giving out free game right now. So.
Yeah, I've discussed it Mansory before, and he's been in the industry since '89. He's been customizing cars, luxury cars, and now as of last year, he started just doing his own car with his own name on it. He sold cars as a buy. Some of the cars that he sells is in the millions, and some of them were half a million. I just received a message from someone last night, and they were showing me some guy that bought a car from him. Who was it?
Offset.
Oh, Offset, yeah. I don't know. When I seen the video, I'm like, who is this?
I mean, I don't know personally, but everybody heard of Offset, I thought. Mm-hmm. But anyway, that's good. He don't know who Offset is. He really out of the, you think I'm out of the game when I be trying to tell y'all people, he don't even know who Offset is. Yes.
Yeah, so what happened was, that's the second artist that he's using. I know artists in hip hop. I grew up with some of the stuff, but it's the other guy he used was Rich the Kid. So he's pushing through the rap industry, and these guys are buying his cars for maybe $1 million, $800K, stuff like that. But this guy, he came into the crypto marketplace maybe in February, and he's new to the crypto. But he's using AI that he's going to put inside the cars. He already has a lavish, clientele that he doesn't do too much marketing. All he do is the people that he posts videos buying his cars, people that's already famous and have their own platform.
And so he has a token, like this guy, he has like a coin.
Yes.
Okay.
And I got in it, it was like maybe 1.5 cents, went up to 8 cents, and now it's probably at like 4.5 right now.
And the reason why is that 4.5, like he said, he got in at 1.5 cents. He got in at 1.5 cents and it went up to 8 cents. So of course it was profit being made. But then some people, once there's profit being made, they take money out, a large amount of money out, and that's what caused the coin to go back down, which that happens all the time in the market. So now it's at 4 cents. But again, we're still in profit. Can I say we? We're still in profit because he got in at 1.5 cents and it's 4 cents. And when it's that cheap, you're able to buy a large amount of the coin versus XRP is at $2 and some change. So you can't, some people have money to buy a large amount, but it takes more money to get a substantial amount of XRP or Ethereum if you when it goes up, so it's better to get in on these coins that he talks about that are not offered on Coinbase or what is it, Robinhood, right? They're not offered on Coinbase and
Crypto.com.
or crypto.com. And those are the ones that are easy exchanges that people know about. You have to create a digital wallet.
You upload their contract.
And I don't know how to do it, and a lot of people don't. And you have to be careful when you're creating these digital wallets because we talked about it before. People are scamming. So you'll have somebody that you think is making you a digital wallet, and they'll make it for you, and they'll take all your information and wipe your account out. So you have to be careful with that. And that's why we're educating people too, because we don't want people to get scammed. We want you to get in the game, but we want you to get in the game the right way, not get scammed. That happened
to me like 1.5 years ago. Like I was on Twitter and I actually wanted to jump into NFT, and they said he was giving out free NFTs or all this free stuff. But it was my Trust Wallet. Like none of my assets are in a Trust Wallet. I use Trust Wallet for particular cases like that, just to see if it was legit. But I actually had tokens that was being distributed from my seed rounds that was sitting in there automatically going there, and it caught me off guard. So I took all the stuff that was automatically being sent to my Trust Wallet and just let the account, be as a front line just to test and see. But when I clicked it, I said yes, send me the NFT,
and he wiped you out.
My account blinked, and they took like I think it was like 2,000-3,000 tokens from me, and it was like at mainly like what was this Digitial? Yeah, it was Digitial. It was like about 6 cents. Token. So it was fairly
nice amount of money.
It was some money. Like I can't really calculate the token amount and the money amount, but I'm just talking about the experience of clicking on something and your account being wiped out. That's why I keep everything in my MetaMask. So just get back to the asset like Missouri. I actually was introduced to them through a company in Asia that I invested in, and this company is actually, they just started their first motor race sport, and it's backed by anime, and it's backed by the president of a country that's pushing, tokenization and crypto, and this company is pretty huge, and the way that Mansory is positioning himself, like the company has like maybe 10 million members in the metaverse, and that's what Mansory is going to do. Like his whole thing of being in the crypto space is offering NFTs and the opportunity of his cars that he.
What is an NFT? You might need to explain to people because you're speaking in terms. I know if you understand it, you got to think of it like from a teacher standpoint. You're speaking to an audience who don't understand crypto, some of them have no clue what NFTs are, what they do, what's the benefit of having an NFT. So I want you to more educate the audience on what is an NFT, what is the benefit of an NFT, and what happens when a company adopts an NFT. Because isn't that what happened? Like was it Ethereum or who adopted one of the bigger brands? They adopted an NFT and then it shot up because they adopted the NFT, like the assets shot up.
NFT?
Was it Ethereum? Or maybe I'm thinking EFT. What is it? What is the other one?
ETFs.
ETFs. I'm thinking of
That's
ETFs.
Bitcoin.
Yeah, I'm thinking of ETFs. Sorry. See,
Yes,
again,
just
I don't understand ETFs, NFTs. So
terminology. Yeah, the
yeah, you
purpose
have
could
to-
get a lot of
you
people
have
off
to
because
understand.
you're unaware of, the terminologies. And it's like the NFT is a non-fungible token. And
Non-fungible token. See, I didn't even know it
yeah,
stands
it's
for
a
that.
token, but
I know.
it has value locked into an image, and a lot of people, that's what they do. Like, you have these big industries, these institutions, they're about to adopt all these NFTs into their, portfolio to present to the clients. I mean, as contingency to keep, loyalty and retention of customers, because they're gonna be offering NFTs like Reebok is doing it through one of the companies that I'm invested in, and it's like the company that's behind all this stuff is I would say it's Block V. They doing it so huge. They have like Hershey, Gucci, it's their list is pretty long. I mean, Coca-Cola, like Visa, like all these companies are going to be using NFTs for their customers. And like if you see some of the movies that you watch that's futuristic, you see people walking down the street, or even if you see it now, they show it in some cities, like the actual image is augmented reality. And like it's 3D. It comes out like it's trying to touch you or grab you, and then it goes back in. Like this is like augmented reality. But it's an NFT that some of these NFTs are going to have AI behind it that's being be able to talk. I mean, and it's going to raise the value of the NFT. I mean, like I bought an NFT when about a year and a half ago, and I didn't. My first time ever buying it. I mean, it was Apocalypse Apes. I spent $300 on it, and I didn't know what it was, and I just wanted to check it out. I mean, and the price went up. Somebody actually paid me $3,000 for it. Now I'm like, I was looking at the value, like, should I sell this or should I? I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna pay the rent with this. Here you go. You can have this. Took my profit and principal and just pay the bill with it. I mean, and I'm like, maybe.
So, I don't like to cut your wisdom and your knowledge here, but explain to me, like I was trying to say, when a company adopts or hold on, baby. Oh, so we got a little visitor. Hold on, baby. When a company adopts an NFT or a coin adopts an NFT, what does that do for the value of the coin? Does that increase it, or does that make it more valuable? More? Okay, hold on, baby.
Well, see, the token is like a lot of people don't understand. Like crypto is cryptography, which is encrypted, like on the blockchain, and it's like once that be adopted, like she said, the NFT is like the value. It can be transferred, whether it's in Ethereum, it's like on different currency platforms. I mean, it could be on the Binance and so forth. But it's like what I was stating. When I bought it, I bought it on Ethereum. That was my first interaction with an NFT. And then when I bought into a project again, they gave me a free NFT. They airdropped it to me, and I was like, okay, what's the value was only like a couple hours when I got it, and then I held it like 2 weeks later. It ended up being like $1,400-$1,500. I'm like, this is free,
And that investment was how much? You said $100.
No, it was airdrop to me.
Oh, it was airdrop. But free. The first one you were saying you bought for $300.
And
so I'm just trying to show people, because a lot of people think you need a lot of money to invest. And I'm like, just start where you are. $50, $100, whatever it is. Why not invest in yourself? We invest in everybody else, right? And we are, as a culture, as a people, we are given the poor mindset of investing, right? We are taught to be consumers. We're taught to be consumers. We spend money that we don't have for people that don't like us to impress people we don't know. We don't invest in ourselves. When it comes to investing in ourselves, it's like, oh, I don't have it, but you'll take $100 to go buy some Nikes or Adidas or whatever, or things that don't have value after you take it out the store. So I encourage people to start investing in yourself, and that's, again, you have to change your mindset when it comes to finances. If we're ever going to break the cycle of being economically poor, we have to break the cycle. And I'm talking to myself too. I'm not exempt from this as well, and I'm starting to invest. Like I said, if it wasn't for my husband, I probably wouldn't invested in the other realms of investing. I would have just used my 401k, because that's the only investing that I was taught. I was amongst the people who were taught the poor way of living when it comes to economics, and it was always being a consumer. I wasn't taught investing. So I really am grateful to have a person in my life who is aware of investing and is willing to educate. And again, I don't know if it's like to you guys how it is to me, because it's a lot of information and it's a new matrix of currency, like a transitional currency, cashless pay and all this stuff. So some of it is foreign to people and it can be fearful. You don't know where to start, but that's why I said you have to get with somebody. If it's not my husband, go to the banks. Wells Fargo is doing it, by Fidelity. What other banks? It's a lot of banks that are doing cryptocurrency, and talk to them, talk to the brokers, but you need to get in the game. Okay. You need to get in the game. And like I said, I'm only saying this because I care. If I didn't care, I wouldn't say it. I wouldn't share it. Right. So I think it's important that, you guys get in the game somewhere and have somebody educate you on it, or do your own research. Or like I said, my husband is here as a resource. Ask questions. He can help you set up a wallet and give you some of the assets that he has, and kind of help you navigate through your way of understanding this new way of life. Yeah, educate yourself on this new money, which is one thing cryptocurrency.
It's one thing that's running, with Bitcoin scaling right now is it's coming out of Asia. I always, my wife, I talk to her about Huawei, and how they affecting the whole semiconductor industry. They affected Apple. With their cell phones, they affected a lot of even America economy. That's why Trump even was trying to push tariffs on China so hard to try to stop the evolution of AI coming out of China, which no one can stop. And that was an example of when they dropped DeepSeek, when after Trump announced, the company that was dropping billions of dollars of AI in America, and then he tanked NVIDIA, China did. When they said DeepSeek, it tanked a lot of stocks in America because they allowed the open source technology, where you don't have to pay for it. Just like ChatGPT, like you don't have to pay for it.
And this is DeepSeek you're talking about?
Yeah, like it's a free platform. It's AI.
I heard of DeepSeek. I just haven't dived in it, but I hear a lot of people talk about DeepSeek. Yeah, kind of being like compatible with ChatGPT.
There's so many different AI formalities that's coming out. Like even I think Google just dropped one.
So Huawei, I'm just trying to follow you. Huawei is connected with DeepSeek, or DeepSeek connected with Huawei? Because you talked about Huawei, and then you went into DeepSeek.
Yeah, because Huawei is like the infrastructure of AI coming out of China. Okay. And that's bringing me right to, Morpheus. It's like, they just partner with Facebook. And my thing is, I experienced the company that partnered with Facebook, and they went from 10% to $1. And, my only regret was I should have just, dumped a lot of money into it, but I just put enough to see what was going to happen. And then once they announced, the Mint partnership, I didn't know it was happening until I seen the announcement, and the price is skyrocketed. So now I'm in a position with this company that's just partnered with them, coming out of China, and it's like, I'm pretty position heavy in it for the portfolio that I carry. And I mentioned it to a few people, and I'm trying to become a maximist behind mine, because what they're doing is they're allowing developers and even normal folks to just copy and paste technology to own their own exchange, a crypto exchange, the NFTs. They want to make tokens. They're doing all this and allowing people to just do it freely without knowing code. And that's why I believe, Mark Zuckerberg, like he actually sat down and partnered with them, and it went through an incubator, through Facebook, through Meta. I keep saying Facebook. It's Meta now. That's because of the other company that partnered with, and he just said, you know what, we're gonna do Meta. And even with Meta and X, they're both about to integrate, crypto into their platform, so as though people are going to be exchanging peer-to-peer, tokens, and maybe it's going to be, XRP or Stellar or one of these other platforms that help, people transact tokens securely, and that's what's going on. Maybe like it's like a flip of a coin, like two-sided, double sword. It's like, end of the month they doing like this big expo in Vegas with XRP, and that's on the 30th.
The 30th
this month.
This month?
Yeah, it's like.
So, do you think that XBill is going to cause XRP to explode since it's in Vegas? A lot of people are going to be there, a lot of investors. What does that mean for XRP?
It's going to be more integration into XRP, and XRP is being compressed, just like a lot of other, assets are being compressed with the price. And it's like what I was about to explain with the double sword. It's like, double-sided sword. It's like, you have the great thing as far as the financial part of a asset scaling from integration and, partnerships. But then you have on June 1st, the terrorists. And it's like, it's like the company is ready to scale, but then it's like, all right, we're going to shake the market up again. And it's like it's shaking people out of the market that don't really know the market. They just, investing in stuff that maybe they hear about the hype or, I can't think for other people. The assets that I've been holding for, they have some maybe a year or two or even 3 years. I mean, I've been following them, studying their partnerships, and that's like how I even came, like I was saying about Sorian. Like it's a prominent asset, and Morpheus as well. Morpheus is they pretty strong, and even with the race car, the motorsports, like that's going to be huge.
Don't give out too many more assets, okay? We can't give everything out for free. He gave out 2 prominent assets, right? And they're not, like I said, they're not on a regular chain. You can't go to Robinhood, you can't go to crypto.com, you can't go to Coinbase. Then you have to create a wallet and know how to maneuver the wallet. I can't help you with that because I don't know how to do it, which is probably a good thing because I'll probably be giving stuff away for free. Now we are, like I said, we're trying to help change the trajectory of people's finances, right? Because we care. Not because we're going to gain this significant profit from it, but because I want to see people win. I want to see people win economically. I want to see them win, when it comes to their mental and their capabilities and what, for them to believe in themselves to achieve whatever it is they want. And when you have finances, when your finances are better, you're able to do different things. You're able to buy land. You're able to own more assets. You're able to create that generational wealth that I speak about all the time. You're able to start a business. So you do need funds sometime, to a significant amount of funds to do things that you want or different projects. But you don't need a lot of funds to start investing. You start where you are and build brick by brick, just like anything else. If you have $5,000 to throw in it, that's kudos for you. But if you only have 100, like when I started, I was putting 50, 100, 200, building my portfolio up. I didn't throw a massive amount. I built it up it got to a nice amount, and I'm still growing it. But again, we're just trying to encourage, inspire, and like I said, I wish I could share a screen so you can kind of see, dates, but I'm going to close. I'm not going to stay long. I didn't want to intend this to be a long video unless my husband has more to say. But I know it's confusing and it sounds kind of like German because I'm just speaking from experience. If it sounds like German to me, I know it has to sound like German to people who don't understand what these things he's talking about. But again, if it sounds like German to you, you need to come to school. You have to learn it. And he is
Yeah,
willing
that's one
to
thing.
educate people. You know, he's helping people set up their portfolio. Of course, it's not for free, but he's going to explain to you and help you understand it a little better with one-on-one, basically one-on-one coaching on how to create a wallet and, you know, like he said, to be cautious, not to click things, and how to be safe when you're doing this. And once he sets up your wallet, he's just not going to leave you hanging. He'll help you, you know, transfer funds. Like if you want to cash out, if a fund go up, you know, $500, and you're like, okay, that's a $500 profit, I want to pull something out. He'll help you, walk you through how to pull out money as well.
Yes, that's very strategic as well. You know, like if you invest $500 and an asset goes up and you're in profit $1,000, you want to take your principal out and just leave your profit there, or you could take some profit too and your principal and just leave the other money there for long term as it grows. But you know, I name some of these companies just so you know, even if a person that's listening, you know, they could do their own research and look it up and see the company.
And that's Mansory, MANSORY or OORY?
MANSORY.
Oh.
Mansory. That's
like MANSORY, Mansory, and that's a car company. All you probably have to do is look up, what's his name? Offset purchasing a Mansory vehicle, and it'll probably pop up, and then you'll kind of, and again, we can't do all the research for you. The best way and the best knowledge is to educate yourself, do your own research, so you know it's factual, like you found, instead of taking things on face value of what we're saying.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned that. Like, you know, once I started really coaching others, it's like I'll show you, you know, how to research a company, their partnerships, to just bring, you know, volatility to, you know, your understanding.
And having confidence in the asset.
You know, because you know the term volatility is you know up and down, like, and that's your emotions as far as you know with the market. But if you once you know and understand, you know, the partnerships, and you know, it'll bring clarity to what you hold. I mean, and you're gonna be adding more, you know, whenever you can. And you know, it's like she said, if you was to YouTube, you know, Mansory and you know all that stuff, it's like that's just one of the projects. You know, it's like in some of these projects, you know, it's 4 cents, maybe 5 cents, you know,
but when he first started talking about it, it wasn't 4 or 5 cents, because last month they weren't this.
Yeah, it was like
a cent and a half, but
it's still cheap.
It's still cheap, definitely still cheap, but a cent and a half is way cheaper than you get more buying it for a cent and a half versus 4 or 5 cents. So next month, today's prices might not be yesterday's prices. Things are evolving and people are getting more and more aware of it. And like I said, the train is moving, whether we're moving or not, or you're moving or not, the train it's going.
It's pretty much like I said about Athena, you know, it's like it doubled in price, just like Bitcoin is moving up. I mean, it's 110K last time I checked, and it's like, you know, the market is really poised to scale, and a lot of people that's sitting back and watching, they're not going to be able to get the wealth that's going to transfer.
You know what I'm gonna do? You know that video you had me watch? Because it was inspiring to me. So I think if it's inspiring to me, I think it might inspire others. The tokenization. It's a 30-minute video. It's a little dry, but it's very informative. And if I get excited about something, I usually like to share it. And because I know that the market, I mean, like I said, this whole cryptocurrency and this new matrix of money, which is cryptocurrency, it can be confusing, and it's like, where do I fit in? How, or is it even a thing? And like, people can still think it's a scam and a scheme. It's this 30-minute video. I'm gonna share it in my discussion, probably later, just for people to watch. I might put it under the innovative technology, since that's what it is. I'll share it in innovative technology for people to watch, and it will kind of give you a confidence and a different understanding of where. And this was in 2023. These people are expecting what they're talking about. I know they said 5 years. They said within the next 5 years, and that was 2023. So 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. So they was expecting like before.
It's happening now.
I know they said probably before. They said within 5 years, but probably before 5 years if you listen to the video. Because I remember, because I did the math. Like, wait a minute, where we at? That the things that were going to change are going to go up, and it's this new matrix of money, a new digital revolution. And this was in 2023. Yeah. And like I said, we see it happening before our eyes.
One of the things that, you know, was said in that the AMA, it's like a question and answer with these companies. It's like It was on the JP Morgan. One of the guys is like, the assets, once they tokenize it, it's like it's going to be, it already at billions, but it's going to be $1 billion a day being cycled through, tokenization. And tokenization is an asset coming from stock or mutual funds or real estate, all being transferred into cryptocurrency.
And what we talked about in our last video, I think if you remember my last video, I talked about the evolution of money, how it went from cash to credit card to contactless pay to all of this, digitizing of money. Like, this is a digital revolution. And a lot of people, if you are following like different investors or people who are trying to educate people, they get excited about it. They're trying to make people aware about it. And it's a thing. And you don't want to miss out on it. You really don't. And we're getting ready to close because, like I said, I don't want to make it too long of a video, but I just want to get people excited about it. I want people really to want to invest. And like I said, if it's not with my husband, that's fine. Do it for yourself. Go to the banks, talk to them about where this digital currency is going, and see where they can guide you to, and what, they might not going to give you these ones that are like 4 cents and 1 cent because they're dealing with probably bigger scales of it. I don't know how the banks are, educating the people on cryptocurrency, but they definitely adopted it. And also,
they want your money.
They want your money. I want you to look up this guy. He was talking about JP Morgan. I got his name. I think his name is he's the executive. The Damie Dimon, how he was so skeptical in the beginning about cryptocurrency. And you can look up videos on YouTube and how he downplayed it, said it was a Ponzi scheme. And this was like probably 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
And now,
Warren Buffett was downplaying.
Yeah, a lot of investors was downplaying it. But that was probably all a manipulation because they wanted to steer people away so they can buy more. And I was leading this up to say this guy in JP Morgan did this whole downplaying of cryptocurrency, but now JP Morgan, the banks, they all are adopting it and they bought into it. And now he's no longer skeptical about it. And he even apologized on one of his shows. I watched it. It was like another podcast. And he was like, yeah, a couple years ago, I was downplaying it, but now he backtracking his words. But I'm going to leave you guys with this. And this is something that I heard, and it was very impactful when I heard it. And because, I love analogies. I always use analogies. So the person that I was listening to used this analogy. He said, when something is broke, what does that mean? And I'm like, okay, when something is broke, that means it doesn't work anymore. It's not working, right? It needs to be fixed. So he said, when a person is broke, what does that mean? He said that they're not working. They're not utilizing their mind and they're not utilizing all their skills and resources so they can be economically free. And that was so impactful to me. I was like, that is so true. That's a great analogy, right? So when you hear people talking about they're broke for a reason because they're not using their full capabilities, like which I always push people to. Use your full capacity of your brain. Stop being afraid to take risks, okay? Some of them may not work, but there's lessons in everything. You're not going to be successful in everything you do. And some people may be. I'm just speaking from experience. Everything I try, I'm not successful in. But some things I do try, I'm like, whoa, I did that. Like, I like what I'm, you know what I'm saying? I big myself up. I toot my own horn. So again, this is an opportunity. If you want to take a risk, and this is a healthy risk, I'm not saying take your whole life savings. I'm not saying take your rent money and, don't do nothing stupid. Use your mind, if you got $100 and you take it and throw it into eating out or whatever, something that's not going to create a value, you have $100 to invest. So like I said, if it's not investing, like when my husband's trying to show you, go invest with somebody else. Like, I'm not trying to steer you just to him. I'm encouraging you just to invest. Okay. And again, like I said, we were never taught this. We were taught the poor way of thinking. To constantly be consumers, consume, buy this and impress this person, and not buy things of value, assets. We buy cars, but when we drive off the lot, that car devalues as soon as we drive it off the lot. So you pay for a $25,000 car, $20,000 car, you drive it off the lot. It's already at $18,000, and as the years go on, it depreciates, and there's no way of getting that money back. But when you invest, it's different. You put $100 in, it may drop here and there, but it's gonna, if it's a good asset, it's going to scale, it's going to grow. So again, I'm just encouraging. That's all I do. That's what I'm here for. That's my job. That's my duty. That's my purpose, to encourage, to motivate, and inspire. And when it comes to economics, there's no difference. So again, that was very powerful to me. So if you sitting around saying you broke and you don't have money, it's because you're not utilizing all your resources. There's too many resources in this world, too many ways to generate income, with investing being one of it. But to be sitting around talking about we're broke. If you're broke, it's because you're not working. It's because you're not utilizing your brain. You're not pushing yourself to your fullest capabilities. Okay, it's 2025, and we should not be struggling the way that some people are. We should be beyond that. Create a value, and the money will come to you. You know, so create something of value. It's supply and demand. And I always taught this. I don't know why I said this, but when I used to teach marketing, I was like, everything is business. I said, if somebody wants some light up socks, I don't know why that came to my mind, but I said, if somebody wants some light up socks, sell them some light up socks, because it's supply and demand. It ain't about your feelings or what you think somebody should have. It's what they want, as long as it's legal. Okay, I'm not gonna say create anything. I'm talking about from a professional, legal, halal way, not just anything, because people will, buy bad things. But I'm speaking of light up socks, just anything. You create a value, and people are going to buy it. So again, this is just an economic education. I'll deviate a little bit away from cryptocurrency, but I'm just encouraging people to, change the trajectory of their financial situation. Create a small LLC, invest, because it's time to start owning stuff. It's time to break that narrative of us not having money and not owning things, And I think the more and more we create income for ourselves and can generate money, it'll be easier to unite with other people to do bigger projects. But most people are stuck in survival mode, and it's like, I don't have. But if you keep telling yourself you don't have, you're not going to have. You are what you think. You have to say, I'm abundant. Speak life into your pockets, speak it into existence. A thought becomes a reality, right? You have to jot down them goals, jot down some ideas, and then little by little make them into a reality. And I'm saying this to say, like, investing is one way you can generate money. You heard my husband said he invested $400 last month in an asset, and it doubled.
Almost $2,000.
Went up to $2,000, $400 to $2,000. That's just one asset. Now he has many assets. That's just one asset. So if you can do,
I use that asset because a lot of people think cryptocurrency is just
Ethereum,
a currency, but this is actual physical company that sell cars. And he's actually in the stock. In the crypto market. So I'm like, all right, everyone keeps talking about crypto about anything that's just cryptocurrency. Well, here's a company that's using cryptocurrency to sell a product now. He's about to start customizing the houses and everything. Like, this guy, he's a genius. He's been doing this since '89.
Oh wow!
And, there's more further research that one can do and find out, like,
And see, for him, you said he's been doing it since '89, so he has money, obviously, because he's selling $1 million cars. But he's not missing that train. He was smart enough to know this is a digital revolution. I need to get in where I fit in at. I'm going to turn my company into a token, because he turned it into a token.
So he got his face on it.
He got his face on the token. So people are not trying to miss this train of this digital revolution. Now, granted, maybe one day we might make a token, but we're not there yet.
DeLorean, too. That's another car company.
So don't be surprised if you see a token. I'm not going to give our name out yet. We might create a token. You never know. You never know. Get in where you fit in. Like I said, and we have to develop our minds and utilize skills to make money. So don't limit yourself. What's the worst that can happen if I create a token and it don't make money? I'm just going to be where I'm still at, or it can scale. So it's things like that. Why not take the chance to do something like that? What's the worst can happen? I ain't going to make no money off of it, which is going to put me in the same position. Or I can make a couple $100, a couple $1,000.
Because a lot of just like the NFTs, it's like, the way they scale is based on their community. They have people in the community that support the project before launch. So if someone was to make a token, even like what she's saying, it's going to be based off, the community that's behind her.
Support.
And support system. I mean, because they say you want to know a person, research their friends or their support system, who they be around every day. I mean, you'll find out more about that person because they allow, whatever that, circumstance that's in their, circumference to, manipulate their reality. I mean, because a lot of people get held back by, self-doubt or somebody in their ear telling them, nah, don't do that.
And it's because they fear it. And we always hear that. And I always tell people that don't let other people project their fears on you because they're afraid to do it. They're going to make you afraid. And it's like, no. And it happens to me a lot because I can fly. I really think I probably can fly, right? But somebody going to tell me, you cannot fly. You going to jump on the bridge, you're going to hit your head. How you know I can't fly? Did you ever see me try? But I don't think I would try to fly, but in my dreams, I fly all the time. I really do. I'm flying in my dreams all the time. So I was like, maybe I can't fly. Who knows? But I'm saying that to say people will project what they don't believe they can do on you. So don't let people do that. All right. But again, I said I was going to close. I don't want to get too caught up on different stuff, but we're just trying to encourage and empower people to take calculated risks. Invest in yourself, okay? If you were going out to go buy $100 pair of sneakers, hold back on those sneakers. Go wash your other sneakers, okay? And invest that $100, okay? If you were going to go spend $75 at Olive Garden or Applebee's or one of these restaurants, Cheesecake Factory, Red Lobster, whatever, take that and go invest it. You got to have discipline. We have to reprogram the way we think about money. We have to because like I said, we were taught the poor way of economics. We weren't taught to invest. We were taught to be consumers. We weren't taught to be entrepreneurs and business people. But I am trying to, on a daily basis, change that with my husband. And like I said, I'm very grateful to him because he has that mindset. He encouraged me because I am a consumer. Like I said, I'm not exempt. I don't consume a lot. I like to eat out. I do like to shop Amazon. But he's like, no, stop consuming. You could take that $50 and invest. And I'm always like, $50 ain't a lot. And he's like, let me show you what that $50 is going to do. He'll take $50 and it'll scale, to something. So we just have to reprogram our mind, just like everything else that I talk about on my other platform or the end discussions. We have to reprogram, reshape the way we think about life in general. And economics is no different because we were taught a lot of things incorrect. So we just have to reteach ourselves, finances. We have to reteach ourselves that, the sky is the limit kind of thing and just push ourselves to our fullest potential. And economics is no difference. So again, I'm going to leave as long as my husband don't have anything else he want to add.
Just ask questions, y'all can contact me.
Contact through the chat, contact, some of you might have his numbers, hit him up directly, hit me up directly. If you don't have his number and you see this video and you don't know who he is and you're a part of the group, hit him up through the chat and we can explain what, further elaborate or answer any questions that you may didn't understand that sounded German. Because like I said, some of these sounded German to me. Like I still get like an EFT, but see, he knows the abbreviations of EFTs, NFTs. I know what they are, but I don't know what they are. Like that's his thing. I leave it to him and I invest the way I invest. But again, this is the guy if you want to be a little more educated, or he can point you to like different directions for you to do your own research, And again, like I said, if you don't want to go to him, go to JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, because they all are dealing with cryptocurrency, probably on a larger scale, like Bitcoin. I don't know if they have like smaller tokens, but they definitely will invest some of your money in cryptocurrency. I don't know where, because I don't invest that way, but get in, don't miss the train, because this video is going to be documented today. Oh, it's my grandma's birthday, May 25th, 2025. So we're going to look back 2-3 years later, like, wow, only if I would have invested then. Well, wow, what is what Q portfolio doing? Me too. I wonder what it's going to be doing in 2 years. But it's documented to say that I did not try to withhold information. I did try to educate my people, or people in general, to make them aware of what's going on and to get in and not be afraid, and to do it wisely. Don't just jump in with anybody. Make sure that person is official so you don't lose whatever you invest, $100, $200. You don't want to lose something, right? So again, Thank you guys for listening. Stay tuned for my members that are on or will listen to this because it's recorded. I plan on doing our next 30-day challenge. I'm going to post it tonight. I believe I'm going to start it for Monday, and it's going to be on health. So stay tuned and look out for the daily health benefits and things that we're going to try to achieve in those next 30 days. And again, thank you for your support. Thank you for the ones who currently support all the time, the ones who will support, the ones who will listen. I appreciate y'all. You guys inspire me just as much as I inspire you. And I look forward to nothing but greatness for all of us. So again, have a wonderful Sunday, a blessed, prosperous week. And stay motivated and inspired. Don't be afraid to fly. But in a dream, I ain't gonna encourage nobody to fly. I don't want nobody saying she said I could fly and jumped off and started flying. But hey, you never know. Don't try that at home. Only in your dreams. Okay. All right. Peace, love, and light, guys. Thank you for joining, and talk to you guys soon.